Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Sunday, September the 21st. I'm your host, Mike Oliva, joined as I am each week by Doug Lee Durong. Doug, how come our team stinks?
These past 2 weeks, they really just shot themselves in the foot. They're just not prepared, and we're right there. We're right there, and I think it has a lot. If I'm really gonna blame one person, it's probably Chris Grier.
Well, yeah, I mean, he gets the blame for everything in my book, and
Yeah,
then we can sort of start to narrow it down from there. And that's what we're going to talk about on today's show: why our team stinks. But before I get to that, as always, this show is brought to you by Caneswear. Everyone, go to the website caneswear.com for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel. If you need a hat, hoodie, t-shirt, sweatshirt, shorts, socks, anything with the Miami Dolphins logo on it, the first website to go to, caneswear.com. Also, if you're located in South Florida, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, stop by their store. They got stuff for the Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers, teams that actually win. They got stuff for the Heat. They even got stuff for the Marlins, who right now probably have surpassed our Miami Dolphins in the quote-unquote winning category. So caneswear.com is the place to go. Also, shout out to everyone watching on the I Am a Miami Dolphins Fan Facebook page. And if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you put a comment up below as well. Okay, so let's narrow this down some. We sort of knew I shouldn't say weeks. There's a lot of people who had their head in the sand that this roster was flawed. It wasn't very good. It took a step back from the 2024 roster, which was a team that went, not even 500. Did you think it'd be this bad though?
No, I honestly thought we would have beat Indy, and I thought we would have beat the Patriots, and I thought we would have lost to the Bills. Like if I was a betting man, that's I'm like, 2-1.
I think most reasonable people thought that.
Yeah, going into the Jets Monday night game, it seemed reasonable. I thought maybe the Colts game would have been more competitive and possibly could have been a loss, but I honestly, no, I didn't think it'd be this bad. And the funny thing is, against Buffalo, our secondary was better than the pass rush was.
That was their best game of the year. That was the team's best game of the year, and they still came up short. And if you're being honest about it, from the perspective of the Bills, they didn't bring their A game that day, and we still couldn't beat them. Which is kind of scary. Yeah, I mean, to me, look, I knew the secondary would be bad. Like, really, that's not surprising to me. I mean, I know there's a segment of fans who thought like, oh, Anthony Weaver, he'll come up with something. Like, no. Like, you can have Vince Lombardi. He ain't going to come up. If he ain't got players, he ain't going to come up with something. And they don't have players in the secondary who are any good, period. And it's like, in the offseason when they let Holland walk, people like, yeah, Holland's gone. I'm like, well, I know he wasn't great last year, but he's still pretty young. And if he got paid a whole bunch of money, he'd probably be really motivated. Then last year, I think he was just, didn't want to get hurt because he wanted to get paid.
Yeah.
And we're replacing him with Fede Malafanu, who only played 3 games and he's always hurt. And lo and behold, he misses a week 3 game because, spoiler, he's hurt. Yep. It's like, so I wasn't like celebrating Holland being gone. I know he was a pain in the ass, tough guy to root for. He was one of the guys behind the scenes causing trouble. So that's why he's not here. I get it. But if you're going to let those guys walk, you got to like try and replace them. They didn't. And I think, so I knew the secondary would be bad. What's very disappointing, and I want to get your perspective on this, and I'm not saying he's the only reason they're losing, but he's a big reason why they're losing. Tua has regressed from the guy we saw in 2022, 2023. Yes. He ain't the same guy.
No.
There was talk where, like, when he's healthy, he's almost a top 10 quarterback. No, he ain't. At one point, that might have been true. As we sit today on September 21st, that ain't true. You're throwing the ball to the wrong team. 4 interceptions, 1 fumble in 3 games. That's not good. In case you were wondering, it's not good. And this offense is all short, dink, and dunk. And I don't know if you heard the clips from Joe Rose or not. He's like, well, it kind of needs to be because he can't throw it deep anymore. And you know what? Through 3 weeks, he's right.
Yeah. He threw a deep pass to Tyreek Hill.
It was like a punt. Yeah. I mean, you got 5 guys waiting for it to land. It wasn't even a deep pass. He just launched it up in the air as high as he could.
And, if that was any other tall receiver, it's probably caught. But obviously, Miami's got a bunch of 5'11" receivers, and we have Westbrook, who we don't throw the ball to.
No, of course. Why?
He had a good game, and then he threw the interception. And I said it in my recap that it erases everything he did. It erases the 2 passing touchdowns that consistently tied the game for us. It erases, the what he rushed for like 10 yards on one of those plays.
Yeah,
And
nice play where he got away.
yeah,
He actually made a play with his legs.
erases it all because we're marching down the field and we're on the 20, 15, 20-yard line in between there, and you throw an interception, and it was a bad interception, and you just can't do it. And I when that happened, I was like, nail in the coffin. I said, I was like, Tua, you erased all the good you did. But on the other aspect of it, I was like, why are you throwing the ball on 1st and 10 with what I think there was like 4 something left on the clock?
Our head coach don't like to run the ball. He better throw it sideways and run. Mind you, our 2 running backs, one's got like 4.4, 4.5 yards of carry. One's got 5.2. No, let's throw it sideways. Let's make Achane have to break 6 tackles just to get 3 yards. When instead of just turning and handing off, he's going to get 5 by mistake. That's where, which we're going to talk about him next, head coach. But, part of it's this. It's tough to run an offense. It's tough to win when your quarterback can't take hits. He has to throw it quick. And, the offense is now limited because he can't throw it deep anymore. It's just not that he can't. He just can't throw it well deep. And it seems like they're afraid to let him throw it deep. So I don't know how you win in this league, like with this style of play. And spoiler, we're not winning. We're 0-3. Yeah. Last week versus the Patriots, he had 2 chances in the fourth quarter. Interception, and then the final drive where we didn't score. This game, he had a chance, because if we score on that last drive, we're going for 2. There's no way he was going to extend that game. He was going to try to win it. And I think everyone thought that. And, well, it didn't matter. We didn't get it. And I usually don't care about how much guys get paid, because that's just the league. Everyone gets paid next man up, whatever. But if he's going to make all that money, it's not for what he does in quarters 1, 2, and 3. It's for what you do in the fourth quarter. And I'm not saying he's got to be Superman every week, but every now and then in the fourth quarter, you got to make a few plays to help your team win a game. And his diehard fans, the people in the cult, I like to call them. Well, you got the Ravens game in 2022, 3 years ago, folks. Move on.
Yeah.
He's got to do it now. And that's the issue, is he ain't doing it now. And I know the contract's impossible to move on from, this, that, and the other. As I've said, and I don't know if you agree. It's just, here's how the NFL works. If Mike McDaniel gets fired, if Chris Grier gets fired, whatever head coach we hire, they don't want him.
No.
He's already got one head coach fired. Now he's about to get 2 head coaches fired. You think any head coach coming in is going to go, you know what? He's got 2 coaches fired. Yeah, I'll fix. No, he's gone. The only way he stays, Doug, and this is the scenario. This is the hell scenario. This is my nightmare. This is what keeps me up at night, sweats. Because this is what the Miami Dolphins will do, and this is what Ross will do. And he'll claim victory, like status quo. Not good enough. I may change. Chris Grier, not really going to get fired. Senior advisor of football operations, some bullshit title. He's still in the building. Yeah. Champ Kelly, never had the job before. You're our new GM. Weaver, you're our new head coach, and you got to stick with him for 1 more year at quarterback, because we don't want to get rid of him now and eat the dead cap money. See, we made changes. Well, you didn't make any. That's what keeps me up at night.
Yeah, if
see that happening.
If they're gonna if this continues the trajectory that it's on, you have to scorch earth. You have to get rid of everyone in the scouting department, everyone in the the assistant GM, everyone. Now, obviously, like we all know that they're not going to fire Grier. They're just going to do to him what they did to Tannenbaum, which is just move him somewhere.
Give him Fugazi job title. Yeah.
I made the joke that they'll say like, "Oh, we got cupcakes in the break room," and then just lock the door behind him and be like, "All right, he's in there. Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
but they have to scorch earth. You have to, and I'm of the mentality that you lose to the Jets, right? Say we go
not the worst thing in the world either.
Yeah, so because right now we have the number 1 pick, right? No,
this is the Lenore Sellers Bowl, folks. Yeah. I do not want Lenore Sellers, who FYI might be Josh Allen 2.0, in our division where we got Drake May, who's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, who's like the best quarterback in the world. And now we're going to get this kid. Like, I don't want to be in that division. Like, we got to do the honors, as they say in pro wrestling on Monday night. We got to lay down here.
But my whole thought process is, say we do lose to the Jets, right? And we might beat them because after the, we played better against Buffalo than the Jets did. I would still keep Mike McDaniel. I would fire Grier. And then I would start my process of finding a GM. And then I bring the GM in and I have him watch McDaniel. Here you go. You decide what you want to do with him. And then you decide what you want to do with the roster. Watch this team for the rest of the year. Ball's in your court. You do whatever you want to do. That's what I would do. And I already have.
Yeah.
I started making a list of GMs.
I already wrote 2 articles. One about the head coach, one about the GMs. Let me find them and we can compare lists.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
I had like
9.
8.
I got 9. I got 9 GMs.
I'm sure you got a lot of crossover. You're right. Here's the thing. Most of the people they're going to want, though, won't interview in season with the job.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to wait till after the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to be like, I'm not going to leave a team in the middle of the season. So unless you're going to promote from within, or go someone who has no job right now, you're not going to get the assist. You're not going to get like Ray Agnew. He ain't leaving the Lions like in October. That's the problem. Here's my list. Let me tell you. Let's see. Now look, I'm not saying I like the list. I like a few names on the list. A few I don't like. I just know they're going to, meet with them for the job. Ray Agnew, and this is no special order. Yeah. Ray Agnew, Louis Riddick, Donna Ponte, Matthew Berry, Champ Kelly, Ian Cunningham, Terrence Gray from the Bills, which I wouldn't mind because screw them. Chad Alexander, who's actually probably my favorite. Alec Hallaby, or however you pronounce it. And that's my. Now look, there are others out there. I know there's, but I didn't want to. It's a long off season. I got lots of time to write more articles. So that's my first list right there.
Yeah, I got Alec Hallaby, Mike Borgonzi, the Chiefs assistant GM.
Did he get a job last year though?
He's still available. I think he's still with them.
Let me see. I'm gonna fire up the Google machine right now.
Nick Matty?
No, he's not there. He's the new GM of the Tennessee Titans.
So he's gone already?
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he's the one who got the job over who's our guy who left?
Yeah,
him.
Jim Nagy, Andy Weedle.
He's the one I didn't write about, which people jumped on me like, guys, it's long off season. It was just my first crack at doing that. I'll get to it next article. I'll probably have 8-9 more names for you.
Yeah, Ray Agnew, Louis Riddick, and Donna Ponte, and then Terrence Gray.
Terrence Gray. Here's the deal. Terrence Gray's a big hot name right now, and the Bills gave him a new title like in May when he didn't get a job or two because they were afraid he was just going to leave for like a lateral job that paid more. So he's a big hot name. That Chad Alexander, he's a Ravens guy. He's now with the Chargers. He's like the other big hot name, which people like say this guy, like when he walks in the room, everyone just like stands up. He like commands respect. Those are like the 2 big names to keep an eye that I would keep an eye on. The Donna Ponte one's the interesting because I know fans would lose their shit if he hired a girl. I mean, here's the deal though. She is very well respected around the league. She's worked for Ross before for years, and she was like his right-hand man, even though she's a female. I mean, he leaned on her for everything. And if she was offered it, she'd say yes. I think the only way she'd say no is if she's heard from Roger Goodell. She's next in line for his job. And if he's got like a time frame to leave.
Yeah.
She might get that job. So like she's that big a name. Her being a female does not, that's fine. I could care less because that's where this league is going. Someone's going to be the first eventually. And I could see Ross loving if he hired the first one, honestly. But so that's a name to keep an eye on. But, there's names, Riddick, who I love because he comes on our podcast. I don't know if I want someone from TV per se. I saw what happened with Mike Mayock and it just ended badly. And I know he's worked in front offices before, but that was a long time ago as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's bad. The roster's bad. 2 is bad. I mean, that's the thing. You have so much money invested in him that anyone who was involved in getting him paid and They got to go. And that's why Mike McDaniel, which is our next topic here, the narrative has sort of shifted after Thursday night. Like, hey, they played hard. They almost won. Like, that matters. They almost won. Hey, what do you want him to do? He's got a limited quarterback. He can only call the plays that he can run. It's like, no, Mike doesn't get a free pass here. Because last August, 13 months ago, when Tua was playing games, first day of camp, he did a few reps, then he was not practicing. Mike picked up the phone to Mr. Ross and goes, we got to get this done. Let's get it done. So Mike's just as responsible for that contract as Grier and everyone else. He can't stay.
No.
And he won't stay. He's not surviving this. This. I mean, first off, the poor guy just looks totally exhausted. I feel so bad for him. I mean, look, he sucks at his job, but I do feel bad for him because he looks like he's just staying up 24 hours a day to fix this. And I just would love to shake him and say, go to bed. You ain't fixing this. This is way beyond you at this point. He's going to get fired. It's just, they could do it after the Ravens game on a Thursday. I think they'll do it after Spain because I think they're going to look. They're going to get their asses kicked by the Ravens, the Bills, and then Washington. You can get rid of them then. Get rid of them on the bye week. It don't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. He ain't going to be here next year, so
no,
it's done. So who cares when they do it? I know some fans are all worked up. Like, who cares?
Yeah, pretty much. Talking about Tua real quick with that contract, they can still get cap space and keep that stupid contract on the books because
40 years and stuff like that.
This is why me and you do podcasts and we write and we tweet because a lot of people used to call me a 2 in the ear because I would defend from stupid takes and all that stuff. But if you go back, I said, and I've said it in videos and I've said it in tweets, if I had to choose between paying Tua or letting him ride that 5th year, I'm having him ride the 5th year because just one good year doesn't qualify. And they gave him this stupid contract that the only way you can move him is if you trade him. But if you cut Tyreek Hill, if you cut Bradley Chubb, if you cut Austin Jackson, and if you cut Westbrook, just throwing 4 names at you, $32 million in cap space. And you still
help absorb the hit. Yeah.
Ugly contract on there. Yeah. And if you can somehow, some way find a trade partner, you get up to $43 million.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's going to trade for him.
Exactly.
And he's not going to restructure for anybody because why would you?
No.
It makes no sense.
He knows he's a lame duck. He's gone.
And he shouldn't have to restructure because he found a team dumb enough to pay him. He should take every cent that he could get at $167 million. Honestly, I mean, that's why he has great agents. But I know, well, yes, and you're right on those names. Austin Jackson cannot leave town soon enough for me. I am so done with him. It's not even funny. Look, if they have a new head coach and a new general manager, year one's a honeymoon year anyways. Take the stinking cap hit. You're going to be playing a rookie quarterback anyways. Who cares? Or they're going to play Quinn Ewers, who's a 7th round pick, who makes zero money. So it's like you can absorb the cap hit. If you want to do it post June 1st, split it up over 2 years, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. The point is he can't be here. For a new head coach, a new GM, he can't be here. And I see fans go, he's got to stay at least one more year. I don't care about the cap. The cap's secondary to be like, if you're going to actually fix this organization, he can't be in the building. And it's not, and again, people say, oh, don't be mean. It's not being mean. There's nothing to, she's a nice guy. Seems like a likable guy. Everyone loves him. It's business. A $1 billion business we're talking about. And it ain't working. In fact, it's getting worse week after week. And look, if they go out this week and they pound the Jets, great. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to give them a gold star for doing what we're paying them to do. But if they lose to the Jets or he even plays bad in a win, as I've said on our show, people look at our schedule. We got some easy games coming up. What are you people talking about? We're the easy game for these teams. Even the games, if you look at the Panthers, Atlanta, and Cleveland, they're all on the road. You can't say that's an easy game. We're on the road. The only easy game we got this year are the Saints and maybe the Jets at home. That it. This is a 3 or 4 win team, folks. And I'll tell you right now, come like 3 weeks from now, they're like 1-5, whatever. They're going to mail it in these players. They ain't going to play hard.
Oh, yeah.
Half of them won't be here. Hill's going to be gone. Chubb's going to be gone. Phillips going to be gone. Judon's going to be gone. Like, they're going to be gone. They're going to trade. And I wouldn't be shocked if they trade Minka either, honestly, because he's going to be miserable. So good luck trying to win with, Dante Trader as your best safety. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And, even if they don't move on, you still have to go out and get a quarterback. And, I keep hearing mixed signals about these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's not that great of a draft. And then some people are saying, it's a great draft for quarterbacks.
Here's the deal. It's not, is it great? I don't know if it's great. It's not awful. Here, people, and this is a problem with social media, and I'm going to swear, so if you have children in the car, earmuffs time. People are fucking idiots. So on social media, I put up a thing. I go, look, if Miami's picking 1, 2, or 3, you're taking a quarterback. Because if you're picking 1, 2, or 3, it means the quarterback you got kind of stinks. And you don't plan on picking 1, 2, or 3 again, like anytime soon. You're taking a quarterback. Common sense. The feedback I got, the quarterback class sucks. I had one guy say, all the quarterbacks suck. And I go, how can you say that? And he goes, well, I haven't watched any games this year in college. Well, then I don't care what you say. Like, I don't care about your opinion. I'm sitting here watching Cal San Diego State at 11:44. Well, here, we are recording on a Saturday night. I'm watching this one late because I got money. I watch all the games on Saturday. I'm telling you, it's a class. People saw Arch Manning have one bad game versus Ohio State week 1 on the road against the champ. He sucks. Like, no, that doesn't mean he's always going to suck. Just one bad game against like the best team in the country, maybe. It's like Drew Allers is going to be a pretty good quarterback. Sellers, South Carolina, probably going to be picked top of this class. He's probably going to be a pretty good, are they going to be guys who come in the first day, week 1? No, what's Cam Ward doing this year? He's struggling. They're all going to struggle, but you got to get through the struggle. Nussmeier, LSU, I like him a lot. Some people don't like him as much. He's going to be there's going to be 3 or 4 guys who are going to go like mid to top around 1. It's not a bad class. Is it like, is it the class where Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and Jordan Love, leave our guy's name out of it? No, it ain't that class, but that don't mean it's a bad class.
Yeah.
And what fans go, I love fans. We got to fix the offensive line first, then get a quarterback later. Like, we can't walk and chew gum at the same goddamn time.
Seriously.
Like, we can only fix one position at a time. Like, okay, we take folks, you take quarterback around 1. What did we do last time with Tua? What was our next pick? A left tackle. Then we do it top round 2. We took a right tackle. Wind up being a guard. Okay. Like, you can fix the position. There's trades. There's free agency. Like, you can fix more than one position at once. We haven't because our general manager is a buffoon, but that's what the good teams do. They fix a roster. They fix all the positions around the same time. And we're taking, if we're picking top 3 or top 5, we're taking a quarterback. And anyone who thinks otherwise is dumb beyond belief.
Yeah, because and it's funny too, because going into the 2025 draft, I remember hearing people say, this draft isn't great at quarterback. 2026 is the draft you want to take a quarterback, and blah blah blah. And now all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, it's funny. Like, people, so Nussmeier sucks, Sellers sucks,
everyone sucks all of a sudden. Yeah, because they're not lighting it up. It's like
Mendoza
they
sucks.
played 4 games. They played 4 games in September. Here's the deal. Unless it's coming from Jeremiah, Field Yates, Schrager, Mel Kiper, I don't care what these people's opinions are. Because like, I watch a lot of college football. All these guys don't stink. And most of these people commenting don't look. Most of the people, and why they're so hurt with the whole Tank for Tua thing, because they fell in love with Tank for Tua. They never saw him play at Alabama. Most of them thought he was a scrambling quarterback coming in the league. Do you guys even watch games? He ain't scrambling quarterback. He didn't scramble at Alabama. Yeah, you guys don't even watch the games. Most people don't even watch college games. Mendoza could walk to their front door, ring the doorbell. They wouldn't know who he was. Who's watched Indiana the first month of the year? Nobody. Nobody's watching Indiana. They don't even know what he looks like. It's like, so unless it's coming from a big name, I don't care what these people say, because most of them on social media stuff, they don't know. And I'll say this too, and I'm not going to say anyone's name. Local reporters who follow Miami day in, day out, they don't know either. Okay? Because they don't have time to watch college games. You're covering an NFL team day in, day out. They're not sitting home all day on a Saturday watching games from noon till midnight like I am, like a nut. They don't know either. So take what they say, and I'm not saying names, with a grain of salt on that stuff. And I'm right.
Yeah, because like right now you look at some of these rankings for these quarterbacks, and like you said, it's week 4.
They
Things can
haven't played.
change.
It's like that. Here's the deal. September 27th, next week, next Saturday, Oregon plays Penn State. We'll talk about Drew Aller then. Because people say, "Oh, I saw him in the playoff last year." Stuff. You realize he had 0 wide receivers last year. He had one tight end who was great, and he couldn't throw to anybody else because their wide receivers were the worst wide receivers in the country. Like they won games where their wide receivers had 0 receptions, 0, because they didn't have anyone who could get open. This year they bought a bunch, and they're pretty good. And let's see what he does next week versus Oregon, who's a really good team, and then we can start to judge him. Then Sellers, it's like great. He got all the physical tools you want. He's a little bit raw, but who isn't? He'll be fine. Nussmeier plays in a system at LSU who just sends people to the pros. Again, is he the perfect guy coming in the league? No, but he'll be fine as well. Like those 3 to me are like the top of the list. Carson Beck, I'm not a huge fan of, but he'll probably get picked. I'm not sure round 1.
Arch Manning's going back. I would be shocked.
He was always going back to school, I thought. The only way he's not, and this is my other idea for Mr. Ross, if he wants to fix the franchise, change the culture, and not sell like 10% of the team to Peyton and Eli and say, you guys run it. You hire the coach. You find me the quarterback. You're in charge. You know what? I wouldn't be against it, dog. I wouldn't be against it.
Nope, not at all.
Peyton would be like, okay, we're going to get Sark from Texas. He's our head coach. We're going to install him. Okay, Art, you're going to come out. We're going to take you 1. Don't worry, no pressure. We ain't going to rush you along because you ain't ever leaving us. So don't, because you're family. You ain't ever leaving us. So we ain't going to rush you. Like, I'd be totally on board with it. Call me nuts. Because what we're doing ain't working.
No, not at all. Not at all. And again, going back to the people saying you got to build an offensive line, it's the whole Jake Long and Matt Ryan situation all over again.
And again, you can fix more than one position in one offseason. Like, how about this? We trade for like a guard. We take a guard in round 2, like the top pick of round 2. And in round 1, we take a quarterback. And maybe we sign another guy in free agency. It's like you can fix more than one position at a time. These people, it's like either or. Until we get the, and then I say, and then people go, we don't invest in the offensive line. Austin Jackson, 1st round pick. Robert Hunt was a 2nd round pick. You took Patrick Paul in round 2. Savane, who parted with picks to take, who FYI ain't looking so hot. I know it's only a few games, so I'll give him time, but he ain't looking so hot. Liam Eichenberg was round 2, which again we traded up for. We paid Armstead a lot of money. Aaron Brewer makes halfway decent penny. He ain't okay. Like we invest in it, we just do it badly. There's a difference. Not investing is not taking guys in rounds 1 and 2 and not paying guys. We just do it badly. Liam was a bust. 7 early returns aren't great, but okay, I'll give him time. Austin Jackson never plays, except for the 1 year when he was playing for a contract. Then he actually found a way to play. Kind of like our quarterback. Kind of interesting. Well, they stayed healthy the 1 year they needed to stay healthy. Hunt plays well, but we let him pay him. Should have paid him because he actually. I know he got hurt now, but they should have paid him as a point. One more topic, then we'll go. Real quick here, though. MyBookie.com. Everyone go to MyBookie.com. Promo code Dolphins. Hit the bet back bonus. Here's why. If you place a bet and you lose, guess what? You get your money back to bet again. It's like it never happened. MyBookie.com. Promo code Dolphins. I had a great Saturday. I had Virginia minus 16.5 cover. I had Kansas minus 12.5 cover. I had Texas Tech on the money line as a 4.5 point dog. They won outright by 24. And I got USC. Again, we are recording Saturday night. So I already hit a couple parlays. And if USC wins by like 18 or 19, then I'm really going to cash in on like 3 more. Been a great Saturday. I just need USC to bring it home. But MyBookie.com, promo code Dolphins. Make sure if it's your first bet, use the bet back bonus token. And if you've never bet there before, you might as well bet once because it's like you get a free bet. You get one free bet where you can't lose. So go to MyBookie.com. Use the promo code Dolphins. We sort of covered this, but just real quick. That narrative shift to where like, well, it's not really Mike McDaniel's fault. And I go, well, yeah, it kind of is. He's like really bad. What do you think? Like, I don't know. once again, he's kind of like the same category as our quarterback. He's so likable that you almost, no one wants to see him get fired, but it's a results-oriented business, dog, and there's just no results.
The reason I want to move on from him, and some people still defend him.
Oh, I know.
Adamantly
Blows my
defend him,
mind. Blows my mind.
is that nothing changed, right? He made mistakes in 2022 that we were all like, hey, he's a new head coach, let him figure it out. 2023 we were winning, but he's still making mistakes. The play call was coming in late, and the challenges weren't working, and the penalties were there, and there was no adapting and making changes from halftime or from game to game. People were picking up on tendencies and figuring out his offense. No changes there. 2024 really got exposed that people knew the offense. Again, all the things I just listed still happened. And then the first 3 weeks of the season, it's still happening. So it's like he is not evolving. He is not getting better. He is not fixing his game. He is not being the genius that he was labeled as, the McGenius, where he is going to sit there and draw. Okay, let me draw. I think it was against the Patriots. I saw this and I just shook my head. Run game coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, right? That's where his bread and butter was. That's where his name came up is, oh, look how good CMC was. Look how good the run game was for the 49ers. I saw a play against the Patriots where we took Tanner Connor, we motioned him. So say you're the running back. We took Tanner Connor and we motioned him from left to right. And then we took Malik Washington and motioned him from left to right. They were standing right next to each other. And then we handed the ball off to Devon Achane to the right. When we motioned Tanner Connor, the linebackers were kind of like, And then when we motioned Malik Washington, now say you're a linebacker, they all shifted to the left. So if you're a running back waiting for the ball to be handed to you, you watch two motions go from your left to your right, and then you watch the entire linebackers go from your left to your right. And now I got to run there. Like, it was the dumbest thing. Like, if you're going to motion one way, run it the other way, because the whole defense shifted to and it was a tackle for loss. And I'm like, he was a run game coordinator. Like, and that is the game where we had the back-to-back delay games, and I saw Jalen Waddle get mad. I saw Tua getting mad. I saw, like, at one point I saw Jalen Waddle get mad at Brewer because we had a false start, and he was like, I saw it in the film, and then we had the delay a game when we were still in the huddle. I saw Jalen Waddle start yelling at the sideline. Now, I don't know if he was yelling at Prince, if he was yelling at McDaniel, if he was yelling at who, but he was yelling at the sideline. And this is why Mike McDaniel should be fired. And this is why Mike McDaniel should not have came back, because there was no evolution to his game. And, people have figured it out. Okay, take the middle of the field away, force Tua to throw outside. How are you going to fix that? Right? They figured out in 2022 when we faced the 49ers and the
end
Chargers.
Of the year. Yeah, they did. End of the year.
And nothing changed. Now, we played the Chargers week 1 the following year, and the offense, did whatever the hell they wanted to. But then again, you face the Eagles and you face the Chiefs and you face the good teams, and they did the same thing. They took the middle of the field away and forced no change. You know what they did? Hey, a run game's not working, so we're gonna throw bubble screens. And the fact that, again, it was the Chiefs game. 2 runs got us down to the 31-yard line in Germany. We threw it 4 times. Pissed me off. Buffalo Bills game. We're down on the 20. You have Ollie Gordon, who literally can trip forward for 3 yards. First play of 1st and 10. When you want to eat he did it. This is what I'm talking about. Him and Tua were so good in this game until that play, because he did it perfectly before the half, where he gave the Bills 5 seconds left and tied the, like, it was perfect. And then he just had a brain fart and just, there's 3-4 minutes left in the game, throw the ball 1st and 10. And he made a great call taking Keon Smith out, putting Brunskill in there. But of course, when we needed Brunskill to at least be in front of the man, Olay.
Well, this is what drives me nuts. That offensive line, even with all the guys out, the injury stuff, it can run block really, really well.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
good run blockers.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we throwing all these sideways passes where we're asking these guys to move out into space and have to pass block? Like, no, you're going to throw a sideways pass where he'll get maybe a yard or 3 yards or 4 yards. Like, just run up the middle. They can run block. These guys are pretty good run blockers, even with the injuries. That's the frustrating part. And also, as a head coach, you are judged on wins and losses. That's just how this league works. No, you know, I saw this week, there once again, a segment of fans are like, see, we're getting plays in that time this week. Good. It only took him to year 4 to figure it out. Year 4, week 3. He's finally doing his job. Congratulations. Like, you don't get credit for stuff that just, you know, you're supposed to do. So here's how we'll wrap it up. I got my list. So I gave you my list of GMs. Let me give you my list head coach. Now, the head coach list, I put into 3 categories because people lose their minds. Serious candidates, or people where if you met with them and you paid them enough, they probably take the job.
Yeah.
The long shots, which they're long shots, self-explanatory. And then the unlikely category, but since we're the Miami Dolphins, I have to talk about the unlikely because we'll do freaking anything with this organization. So here's the serious candidates. And once again, no special order. Jeff Hafley, the coordinator for the Packers, prior head coaching experience at Boston College, major program. He took that school to 3 bowl games in 4 years, although it was because of the pandemic. Some of the games weren't played. You get the point. They qualified. So he's been a head coach before, and he's doing wonders with the Packers on defense. Now, this name's likely because if you paid him enough, he'd come. I don't want nothing to do with him. Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know if I said it to you or someone else. He reminds me of the love child of Mike McDaniel and Adam Gase. He's got every bad quality of both of them together. I want nothing to do with it. But again, I could see Ross being wowed by him. He looks like South Florida, and he's lost everywhere he's been. Lost to Texas Tech. He just loses wherever he goes. I don't want him, but I could see he's on the list. Mike McCarthy, clubhouse favorite. And I saw today, Omar put up a tweet. You tell Omar next time, here's what I want. Here's why I want Mike McCarthy. Potbelly, probably wears New Balance or Skechers, and he probably has a Casio watch from 1988 with a little calculator on it, and he's going to be boring. He probably eats vanilla ice cream, and he only has sex in a missionary position. That's why I want Mike McCarthy. Boring as boring can be. And you know what? Let me run on that show for like 10 seconds. I'll tell Omar. I'll do a run in like wrestling. Hit my music. I'll come on, tell him, here's why Mike McCarthy, and I'll get off. I'll tell him. That's why I want Mike McCarthy.
It does. He wears black sneakers, but they do look like the cushion to the heel is like, I kid you not, like that thick. So it's definitely some type of.
That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy.
His knee. He got bad knees, is what I'm saying.
That's what. Look, he's probably has like a little bit of weight on him. He's, you know, so it probably does affect the knees and the joints. Steve Sarkisian. I don't know if he'll leave Texas, but he might want to coach in the pros. Most of these guys do. It's just going to take a lot. Todd Monken, offensive coordinator from the Ravens. Those are my serious candidates where if you actually talk to them and threw enough money, they probably take the job. Here are my long shots. And that's just the long shots. And don't laugh at all of them. Number 1 is a name I think we talked about last week. Sanders. Give me prime time. Dion. That's a long shot. I know. Kirby Smart, Georgia, like Sarkisian. Why would you leave Georgia? I don't know. But again, he might have a dream to coach in the NFL. Long shot. John Gruden, again, I don't think it's going to happen because Mr. Ross founded Rise and those emails go against everything Rise ever stood for. I just don't see it happening. Joe Brady, offensive coordinator from the Bills. I don't want him. He falls in that Cliff Kingsbury, Mike McDaniel, Adam Gase world. He's only 35, but he's from Pembroke Pines, Florida. I could see Mr. Ross going, well, with a local boy to solve the problems. No, that's not why you hire a guy. So those are my long shots. In the 2 unlikelies, and once again, they're unlikely, folks. Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, which that's why they're unlikely. It's probably not going to happen. But you give me Sark, you give me Hafley, you give me Mike McCarthy. I'll even take Todd Monken at this point. I'm fine. I think Todd Monken used to be a head coach somewhere too. Where was Todd Monken a head coach? I know he was. It's late. Let me see. Where was Monken a head coach? Because I want to put him in that category if he wasn't.
How do you spell his last name?
At Southern Miss, he was a head coach. So, look, I want someone with freaking head coaching experience. That's all I want. And boring. I want boring, Doug.
I haven't even delved on that yet. I think once Mike McDaniel gets fired, I will start thinking about that. But the more I think about Mike McCarthy,
it's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
See,
like the more I'm like, Makes sense.
People, here's the deal. People, they're fans. They want to be like the next Patriots to win like 6 super. They want like a dynasty. That's just so unrealistic. What we need right now is a guy to stable the ship.
Mm.
Stable the ship. Just come in here for like 4 years or 5 years, get us in the playoffs consistently, maybe win the AFC East once, and like build it up to where, okay, maybe you're not going to take us to the promised land, but you'll have us in a stable spot to where the next guy maybe will. Like Tony, like with Tampa Bay all those years back. Tony Dungy built Tampa Bay up. He couldn't get him over the hump. Okay, Tony, you're fired. John Gruden comes in and wins a Super Bowl. Like, I need that Tony Dungy to come in and stabilize the organization. And I don't mean Tony Dungy literally. I mean a guy to come in and stabilize things and fix everything. And that's what Mike McCarthy does. Look at I don't know if I read them off to you last week. Here are the numbers. Let's just go this time from the Cowboys. Okay, 6-10, walking into a mess. Then 12-5, first place in the East. 12-5, second place in the East, wild card. 12-5, first place in the like. Who doesn't want this? And then his last year, okay, they came in third. That's why he got fired. But 2 division titles in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years with the Cowboys. And you got the Eagles in that division.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's a cakewalk. And then if you go to his time with the Packers, I know he had Rodgers and stuff in Favre. Okay, here's his time with the Packers. Doug, second place, first place, third place, second place, Super Bowl, first, second, first. I mean, all the guy does is freaking win. I know it's boring. Like I said, I know it's boring. And it's like, look, he didn't last with the Cowboys because who wants to work for Jerry Jones? He's a lunatic. Mm-hmm. Our owner's not great, but he's not going to like walk the sidelines every game at like halftime and tell everyone what to do. It's a little different. Get him in place. He'll have a professional staff. Everyone get out of his way and just let him build us up to where like first, second place in the East every year, maybe win division, maybe win a playoff game. And then once we get to that level, then we can start thinking Super Bowls. And is he the right guy? We're so far away from that. People want to let's go hire Joe Brady and like hope you hit. It's like that's just not we've been down that path over and over. Mm-hmm. Give me the boring guy who's just a football guy who knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
And I will tell Omar that anytime. I know, because I saw someone put up a tweet like 8 names. He's like, no, hell no. It's like, don't say no to McCarthy. Don't say no to McCarthy. That's what we need, especially if we're going to draft a young quarterback and he has to develop. Look what he did with Prescott. Look what he did with Rodgers. Like, he's the guy you want with a younger quarterback.
Yeah, and he wins.
He wins.
That's the thing.
What this league's about.
Like, I want obviously Mike Tomlin. I would like Mike Tomlin, and a lot of people don't like Mike Tomlin because he hasn't done anything in forever. He hasn't won a Super Bowl in how long? And
hard is to win a Super Bowl. People just say that. I don't think they're hard is to win.
Him and Mike McCarthy are essentially like, because Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl, but how long ago was that? And Mike Tomlin. So it's
Mike Tomlin was going up against Peyton Manning and Tom Brady every year. The fact he's got any Super Bowls is like a miracle.
So it's like, kind of think to yourself, what do I want? Do I want a defensive coach and Mike Tomlin? Right? Mike Tomlin's a defensive coach, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, he was like a secondary coach.
Or do I want an offensive coach and Mike McCarthy?
I want a leader of men. I don't care what side they coach, honestly. I want a leader.
That's where
I want a leader.
Mike
I want a man's man to stand up in front of a room and talk to men and say, okay, men, here's what we're doing. And we're not going to tell jokes. I'm not going to wear fancy shoes and watches. And I don't care about that bullshit. I want a man who's going to stand up and act like a man who's done the job before. That's what we need. This is at the end of the day, as much as football changes and you got all the analytics and all that stuff, it's still a game it's a violent game played by men. And
I want that guy not to be, again, I don't mean to knock Brian Flores. He was too much.
He was a lunatic. A lunatic.
If you go back and watch, and again, I'm not a Gruden guy, and like we talk about, I don't see him coming here because of
all the emails. And plus, he has an open lawsuit with the league. The same reason Flores ain't getting a head coaching job, Gruden's not getting a job. They have an open lawsuit with the league.
But if you go back and watch that Tampa Bay Buccaneers Hard Knocks, when he was getting on Chris Sims because he couldn't get the play in, he was yelling at him, right? He was like, "Come on, what are you doing? Come on!" And then they show like maybe 10 minutes later, Chris Sims is kind of standing on the sideline, and McCarthy and Gruden goes over to him. he goes, "Did I scare you?" And he was like, "No, no, no. I'm in my head." And he goes, "All right, well," and he's just like, he's yelling at him, but then like 10 minutes later, he's like, listen, this is whereas Brian Flores was just rah, 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 then
He stopped talking
he's
to you.
gonna
Then he'd be
find
like,
you
"What the
and
hell?
he's
The kid's
gonna
not going to talk to me ever again." Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, look, every great teacher or coach I had, when it was time to be tough on you, it was tough on you. And of course, in the moment, you're like, this guy sucks. But then hindsight, you go, you know what? That was the best thing for me. He gave me the kick in the ass I needed. You didn't tell me everything's going to be okay. Here's a hug. Don't worry about it. It's like, that's our society in general a lot. But the reason I don't think Tomlin would come here is because who hired Flores when nobody would hire him? So I'm sure Flores told him the whole dirty story of what it's like to work for Stephen Ross. That's why I don't think he'd come here, especially if he has options, and he would have options. He'd have a lot of options. But again, people say, "Oh, he hasn't won." He's in the playoffs like damn near every year, and for most of those years, he was competing like with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady for most of his career. And he had Roethlisberger, who's great, but it ain't Peyton Manning and it ain't Tom Brady, and he still found a way to compete with those guys and sometimes win. Competing with the Ravens, who are always good. That's like that dude wins a lot. Mike McCarthy wins a lot. I know it's not flashy. I know it's not exciting. I know they only have a fistful of rings, but that's football. They having grown ass men who know the job win you a lot of games.
Yep.
Win you the division every now and then. Win you playoff games somewhat consistently. It's like, I don't want that. Well, who the hell do you want? Cliff Kingsbury to come in here with his slick back hair and his hot wife and tell you a bunch of like a used car salesman, which then when it's time, he's no better than Adam Gase or Mike McDaniel. That's what I don't want.
Exactly.
All right. Exactly. Well, we had a nice venting session. Southern Kale's doing well. And if you're watching this on Sunday, you'll know if I slept great like a baby or if I slept miserable. Because look, I already had a few parlays, so I'm fine. I'm fine. Now it's just greed. Now I just want to totally cash in this weekend. I'll be fine either way. I don't bet outside my means. Bet responsibly, folks. But everyone, thank you for listening. Follow Doug Lee Do Wrong on YouTube. He's all over YouTube with his own channel, and of course the Dolphins Collective. Tell him Mike from Dolphins Talk says Mike McCarthy's the guy. And I have reasons. And I will be more than happy to pop it just 5 minutes. Not even 2 minutes. Here's my reasons. I'm right. You're wrong. Bye. That's all I want to do. That would make Alan laugh so hard, actually. And yes, follow Doug there. His videos are up on our site as well. Check out our site, DolphinsTalk.com. We'll have shows next week to get you ready for Dolphins Jets. The Lenora Sellers Bowl. Dolphins Jets. Who's got the inside track to the next rate quarterback? We'll have shows all week. Everyone have a great Sunday. We'll talk to you again after a while. Peace out.